In this video, I will show you the most beautiful and unusual places in Milan. I live near Milan, so these are places that I know very well and that I recommend to you. The places that I recommend you see are not the classic places that you find on maps or tourist guides, but these are unusual and unknown places, hidden gems, and I can assure you, because I live in Milan. All these places can be visited on foot without moving far from the Cathedral of Milan. Obviously, I recommend you go inside the cathedral, which is the largest church in Italy, and go up to see the view from above. This is one of the highest points in Milan, and you can see the panorama of the city from above. You can buy tickets online or directly near the cathedral to go up to the roof of the cathedral. You can choose to go up with an elevator or with the steps, while the descent is always with the steps. If you go up to the roof, you can see more closely the famous Madonnina statue on the top of the cathedral. It is a gilded copper statue placed in 1775, and for many years was imposed as the maximum height that could not be exceeded by any building in Milan. If you look at the main facade of the cathedral, you will notice a very particular statue, which is very reminiscent of the Statue of Liberty in New York. The New Law is a statue by Camillo Pacchetti dating back to 1810 and is believed to be one of the sources of inspiration for the Statue of Liberty in New York, created by Auguste Bartholdi and inaugurated in 1886. Here you can see that the pose is similar. Enter the Galleria Vittorio Emanuele II, famous for its high-class shops. Look up and observe the dome, also called octagon. The lunettes, which represent the continents, are also very beautiful. In particular, we see Europe and Asia. On the other side, you can see Africa. don't forget to turn your heels 3 times over the bull's genitals. It is an ancient tradition, initially as a mockery towards the city of Turin, whose coat of arms depicts the bull, and then spread simply as a superstitious rite. Exit the gallery and pass the Scala Tether Square, and you arrive at a truly very particular house. This is the Casa degli omenoni, built around 1565. The name derives from the 8 telamons, meaning great men, sculpted by Antonio Abbondio. Another place rich in historical traditions that often goes unnoticed is Piazza del Mercanti. If you look at one of the columns, at the top you can see a very strange little bas-relief on the Palace of Ragione, the half-woolly sow. The half-woolly sow is a legendary creature, symbol of the city of Milan before the communal age, which is linked to the foundation of the Lombard capital, which took place by the Celts. According to a legend reported in medieval chronicles, the founder of Milan was the Celt Belloveso, who crossed the Alps and the territory of the Aedui to reach the Po Valley. In other parts of the square, you can find other bas-reliefs with heraldic symbols. In particular, the symbol of the Visconti, one of the most famous families in Milan. This is the most accredited origin of the symbol. Bonifacio, Lord of Pavia, marries Bianca, daughter of the Duke of Milan. While Bonifacio fights against the Saracens, his son is kidnapped and devoured by an enormous snake. Upon returning from the war, Bonifacio tracks down the snake and, having found it, kills it by making it vomit his own son miraculously alive. Near the cathedral, there is a very small church, and also very difficult to find. It is the church of Santa Maria presso San Satiro. At first glance it seems like a church like all the others, but there is a detail that distinguishes it. There is an optical effect that is difficult to notice at first, but as you get closer to the altar, you notice it more and more. Approaching the altar, you notice that the depth of the apse is not the same as it might seem. It is, in fact, the fake choir of Bramante. The reason why Bramante had to create this optical effect comes from the lack of space that was not granted at the time of construction. Now let's visit a very beautiful church that is considered the Sistine Chapel of Lombardy. From the outside, it looks like a very normal church. This is the spectacle you see inside. All the walls are completely frescoed. It was an ancient early Christian church that was then rebuilt most likely in 1503. All the frescoes are by painters of the school of Leonardo da Vinci. For many years, it was a female convent, and many works were commissioned by the Bentivoglio family. In fact, 4 daughters were inside the convent. This that you see is the part of the convent intended for the people where masses were celebrated. The back part, which was reserved for the nuns, is also very beautiful. There is the choir and the organ by Antoniatti. The last place we see is very disturbing, and it is an ossuary of a church. The church is always reachable from the Cathedral of Milan. All these skulls and remains are real and come from a church ossuary. Previously, near this church, there was a hospital and a cemetery. As time passed, the cemetery could not accommodate all the remains of the dead, and it was decided to put them in an ossuary. The ossuary was destroyed, and in 1695 it was rebuilt in this style, which is a mix between macabre and rococo. This is the ossuary of the Church of San Bernardino alle ossa. In description, you can find the exact location of all the places in this video. If you like this video, put a like or follow my channel. It's free for you, but for me is very important. Thank you.